What's your favorite scary movie?
We have such sights to show you.
Mountains!
All you ever learned is my desire.
My name is Frankenstein!
Batman's gone mad!
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
See this? This is my boomstick!
I ate his liver with some fava beans and an ice cream. What's this?
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
It's alive! It's alive!
Here's Johnny. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains. There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror.
What's up, all you horror movie loving fuckers? Welcome back to another episode of the Fright Flick FMK podcast. Once again, I'm your host, Jay. I'm flying solo tonight, so you're stuck with me. Hey, it's fucking Friday, people. You made it through another week down, about to roll into the weekend. Now you all get to go run to the kitchen, get your favorite beverage, come on back here to the table, and sit around with us while we shoot some shit about a horror movie. And this week we got it's a new horror movie. You know, normally I don't do a whole lot of like brand new, but this is 2025. You know, I've watched this movie on HBO Max, so I feel sure it's been out for a little while, but I don't do theaters, so I usually have to watch movies. Either I rent them from Amazon Prime or when it hits HBO Max or one of these other streaming services. But yeah, brand new one this week, 2025 film. We're going to be talking about Bring Her Back. And I watched this, like I said, HBO Max. So that's what we're going to talk about this week. Now, giving you another chance, run to the kitchen, get your favorite beverage. You know, I've already been in it for a little while. Me and Gentleman Jack, we've been red solo cupping it now for a few minutes now. You know, done smoked a little bit of the good stuff. So we're good to go. Everybody grab your drinks. Cheers to another fucking week down. Well, that's good stuff. Hope everybody had a good week. The weather's getting good here. It's starting to get a little cool out. It's the way I like it. Wintertime's approaching, the fall time of the year. You know, it's the best time of the year. Football season's going on. Cooler weather's moving in. Spooky season, Halloween. Our little one, she just got her Halloween costume in the mail today. She's already came down here and showed it off to me. You know, she's excited for it. The little one loves Halloween. She loves horror. She loves all that shit. Over the weekend, she wanted to binge watch the It movies. So we sit around and watch those, you know, and usually on the weekends, you know, I'm kind of booked up, you know, it's football all day Saturday, all day Sunday. But, you know, luckily I got like 3 TVs in the basement. So I'm able to, you know, sit down with her, watch a horror movie, put the ball game on the other TV. But yeah, so yeah, she's super excited for Halloween. And she came downstairs a couple days ago, you know, talking about, you know, going out trick-or-treating and stuff like that. So she's super excited, especially when her costume came in the mail. And she wanted to be I think it's like a leopard is what it looks like to me. And it's got the whole 9 yards, a little headpiece. It's got gloves, the whole tail, whole 9 yards. My wife bought her like the makeup and everything. So she's looking forward to it. So great time of the year. Another good thing that happened, the Ed Gein series popped up on Netflix, you know, like last week or something like that. And me and the wife, you know, had to binge watch that thing. And this is a little bonus here. This isn't what we're going to be talking about today. This is just a little, hey, highly recommend that Ed Gein little series on Netflix. That was fucking awesome. I loved every bit of it. And you know, I see posts here and there on it, and I've seen stuff where, you know, a lot of people like it, huge fans, and then a lot of people are kind of like, well, you know, it's a little rough. Some of it's a little disgusting. Some of it is a little this, and you know, little softies, you know, just that type of shit. They just, I don't know. The shit was real, people. They made it as real as they could, and they fucking did a damn good job of it, you know. And I remember when we were watching it, me and my wife, I told her, I was like, Ed Gein was before his time, you know. Ed, he had some sexual fantasies. He had some stuff that, you know, that he kind of liked. And back then in them days, that was frowned upon. You know, that was all the devil stuff right there. Can't do it. Nowadays, anything's fucking is okay. And Ed, with his little sexual fantasies, probably would have fit right in with today's generation of shit he may have liked to do. He may have been okay. Ed, he was before his time. But that was a fucking awesome series. Highly recommend watching it. Like I said, the people who are saying, "Oh, it's a little too graphic, a little too gross," hey, fuck off. That thing was awesome, you know. And yeah, there was some fucked up shit in it that made you, as you're watching it, you're going like, "Holy shit!" But then you come back and you're just like, "Man, that's the shit he was doing. That's the type of stuff he was really doing." And they did, you know, they went full on with it. And I'll give Netflix and them credit with it. They pushed it probably about as far as they could push it, and it was very well done. Our boy Charlie, I don't know how to say his last name, Noonan, however you say it, I don't know. Sons of Anarchy guy, huge fan of him. Ever since Sons of Anarchy, I've always liked him. He was just fucking awesome. You know, kind of weird seeing him in some brown panties. You know, that was kind of like, oh, but you know, he did a fucking awesome job. But yeah, go check out that Ed Gein on Netflix if you haven't seen it yet. And yeah, that was just a little bonus to the episode here. You know, I just one of the things I've been up to, you know, binge watching that, you know, whatever the little one, whenever she comes in and want to watch a scary movie, whatever it may be, you know, she gets free reign when it comes to picking the movies. And yeah, so like all weekend it was it. She loves Pennywise. Looking forward to the series. It's gonna be coming out soon. But yeah, the greatest time of the year, people. Now we're about to jump in here. We're about to talk about this here horror movie, Bring Her Back 2025. This movie's from the same gentleman that brought us Talk to Me. A24 film. Quick little, this is the IMDb. This is where I get this shit. I'm not that super creative. This is straight off IMDb, people. A brother and sister uncover a terrifying ritual at the secluded home of their new foster mother. And that's all they really give you. Directors, Danny and Michael. I don't know I'm going to butcher names, people. That's what I do here, so I apologize now. Philippou. I don't know. But yeah, I butchered it. Y'all know you know what I'm talking about. Google them. So I didn't know any of the cast in this movie. I didn't recognize anybody. They didn't. I kind of looked through, clicked on some of them right before I got on here to record, just kind of see if I recognize anything they'd done. I didn't. I really didn't. A few of the cast members. Billy Barrett plays Andy. Sora Wong plays Piper. Andy and Piper are brother and sisters in this. We get Sally Hawkins plays Laura. And get a little kid named Oliver Jonah Wren Phillips. And so that's going to be our main ones in this thing. That's our main one we need to keep an eye on in this movie. And I had no idea what I was going into to watch it because I don't watch trailers. Most of the TV I watch, I don't get a lot of movie trailer shit, I guess, because I watch sports 99% of the time. But, gentleman Jack break, thank you. Oh, before we keep going, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're seeing the video right now, I'm sporting the brand new Fright Flick FMK podcast hoodie that I have on right now. And we are working on setting up an Etsy store. So if any of you little fuckers out there want to, you know, sport a hoodie or something, supporting the family. If you're part of the family, the Fright Flick fucked up family, you know, you'll be able to head on over to the Etsy store and pick up a hoodie, t-shirt, some stickers, shit like that. Prices on stuff, you know, I get it. I'm not trying to get rich on this shit. Hell, I don't get paid to do this podcast. I do it for fun, you know. So the hoodies are there if you want them. You know, hey, show off. It's okay to let people know you're part of the fucked up family. It's okay. Now, back to our regularly scheduled program. That's one of them words I have a hard time saying. I can say regular, but regularly. Yeah, I can't get that shit out. My country ass accent don't let me roll that way. But a little bit of the good stuff there. But yeah, I read you at IMDb. I gave you who wrote it. Alpha 24. Same guys that made Talk to Me. Now, going to kind of dive through this thing. I'm going to spoil the shit out of it. Family, you should all know this by now. I spoil shit. It's what we do here. We give you a warning. I don't know how much I spoil as I go along. I just, whatever. We do what we want here. So, once again, people, this is your chance. If you need to go get your beverage, you need to go get your smoke, whatever you need. Come on back here to the table. We're about to jump in here. Now, if this is your first time to the shit show, we watch movies, we talk shit, we have a good time. When it's all said and done, I tell you if I'd rather fuck it, marry it, or kill it. You know, it's not rocket science. Just like the old game. Marrying it's the best. Top notch. Fucking it's a one night stand. Friends with benefits. You know, every now and then you may want to watch it. The kill is the fucking sea donkey. It's the one you'd never want to bump into or see ever again. That's how we rate them. That's how we do it here. So, I'm not an in-depth type person. I talk about a movie just like if you were sitting across from me right now having a drink and I'm just telling you about a movie I seen over the weekend. That's how we do it here. We're not fancy. We're not in-depth. We don't try to be. We are what we is. And we make inappropriate jokes, talk about shit sometime that people may be like, oh, I can't believe you talk about that. Well, hey, that's why this is our show and we get to do what the fuck we want. And we like people just as fucked up as we are. That was another jack break. Thank you. So here we go. Started watching this movie. And one of the things that kind of irked me right out of the gate, maybe it was just because it was on HBO Max, I'm not sure. Maybe it was on purpose. But when it first starts, you got these like old VHS recordings going on. Shit's kind of all fucked up, messed up. You're seeing some nasty shit going on. You know, you got some big fat dude in a pair of tighty whities, like he about to string a lady up and hang her. You got some lady look like she possessed. And so right then I'm thinking, okay, we got us some type of possession type movie going on, which I'm cool with. I enjoy movies like that, you know. So I thought, here we go. But then they were speaking in Russian and on the subtitles, because I watch everything in subtitles. Like subtitles have to be on. For some reason, if the subtitles are not on, no matter what I'm watching, except for sports, like if it's something live, I don't do subtitles with sports, but anything else, subtitles are on. If the subtitles are not on, for some reason, I feel more deaf and I feel like I can't hear it. And so they have to be on. I don't understand it, but if the subtitles are not on, my ears it's like they don't work right. Subtitles have to be on. So I'm watching this movie. Subtitles down at the bottom, it just says Russian language or Russian speaking. So they're like speaking in Russian, but they're not telling you what they're saying. And maybe that was on purpose, I'm assuming, because I'm listening to it. I'm like, damn, what the fuck are they saying? And it kind of bugged me because I didn't know what they were saying. But I was like, okay, maybe it's just the way the subtitles are, and for HBO Max not doing them, I don't know. So I'm just along for the ride right now. I'm like, okay, here we go. We got some fucked up video shit going on. You know, old VHS recording. We got a possessed looking chick on the floor. We got another lady on the floor getting strung up, getting hung, like rope around her neck, pulled up, hung. Nasty looking fat guy with a pair of tighty whities on. And then I'm like, okay, but then it kind of cuts. That's it. Now we jump forward to now we're into this thing. We get a girl standing there. Her name is Piper. Piper is, it took me a second to realize it, but once it finally shows her and she kind of turns around and you realize that you could tell that like Piper's blind. You just see where her eyes are. And she's sitting there and you can tell she's kind of like in school, and she's at kind of like a bus stop type thing. and she's listening to this group of girls talking, and she kind of walks over there and starts talking to them. Just trying to being friendly, trying to be, mixed with everybody. And these girls got this little snobby, holier than thou, my shit don't stink type personality way about them. And just the way they're talking to her, and it sucks because she being blind, she's not able to pick up on, a lot of times you can read people's faces and the way they're looking at you and shit like that. So you're seeing these girls with this little holier than thou type way, and she's just trying to talk to them. And talking about like, are they going into town? Maybe she wanted to hang out, and they're just trying to like figure out a way to get the fuck away from her. And they got that little and kind of a bullying way about them, like the way they just kind of like thought they were better than her. And one of the things, people, this is just a little added thing to this. One of the things that just gets under my skin that pisses me off more than anything is like any type of bullying type thing. I talk a lot of shit about people. I make jokes, have fun, but the bullying thing, and just seeing the way they were towards her and the way that the facial expression. And when it comes to any type of bullying, I was watching, there's another show, maybe it was on Netflix. I can't remember the name of it, but it was like a little docuseries about some shit that went down, and it had a lot to do with bullying type stuff, and man, that just gets under my skin. Like, if you want to see me I'm watching this, I can watch a movie and see like bullying type stuff, and that shit just gets me to a very mad point, and I grew up that way. I grew up being on the other side of being bullied. I was a fat kid growing up. I got made fun of because I was a fat kid. My family didn't have a lot of money. My mom and dad both worked. My dad sometimes working 3 jobs just to damn pay bills and keep us fed and keep shoes on our feet. Grew up, didn't have all the name brand shit, didn't have fancy clothes, fancy shoes, all that shit like that. Got made fun of for the shoes we wore, or I wore. Got made fun of sometimes for the clothes I wore. Got made fun of because I was a fat kid, and so looking back now, that's one of the things that just, man, when I see that in a movie or anything, like it just, God, that gets under my skin. So right out of the gate, I was hoping that these 3 little cunty bitches that was in the beginning of the thing, I was hoping they were along for the ride. I instantly wanted something to happen to them. Unfortunately not. Once we get they're done and gone. But a part of me in that moment, like as soon as they kind of had that little, my shit don't stink, we're better than you, I was like, I hope you little bitches die. I hope y'all are at some point in this movie, no matter what this movie's about, I hope it fucking something rips y'all in half. That's where I was at because I hate that shit. And so while she's standing there talking to him, a dude walks up, and she's joking, but like, oh, I don't know this guy. And she says something like a pedophile or some shit, but making jokes, but it's her stepbrother who is Andy. And so Andy comes up to her like, hey, we got to go. And as they're walking away, Piper's asking him like, they seem really nice. What did they look like? And he's trying to talk to her to make her feel better about it. Like he could pick up on the fact that they were fucking shitty ass little teenagers that just needed to be fucking curb stomped by somebody one day to slap them back to reality. And he was just trying to talk to her to make her feel better about the whole thing. Like, yeah, they seem nice. They look like this, whatever. Making it easier for her, looking out for the sister. Kudos to you, Andy. And so brother, sister, stepbrothers. And they apparently they live there. They're with the dad. I can't remember offhand if the dad was, I'm thinking the dad was Piper's dad and maybe Andy's mom, who was no longer there. I can't remember exactly how it worked out. But you come to find out that something happens to the dad. Piper's ends up yelling because she's trying to talk to the dad. And I think the dad was her dad, but I'm not sure what happened. I can't remember what happened to Andy's mom. If she died or something like that, I'm not sure. But when they go in there, there's a part where she's at the bathroom door and the dad's not answering. So Andy gets a knife, kind of jiggles the lock, gets into the bathroom. They walk in there, and the dad is like on the floor, like butt naked, fell out of the shower, died of like it was like a heart attack or whatever the hell it was. He had a lot of like nasty shit running out of his mouth, and it was kind of on the floor. And then we get us a shot of some casual cock. Like we're 10 minutes into this thing, gentlemen, and and the brothers already hit us with some casual cock laying right there on the bathroom floor. And so then they go in there, and it's like, poor Piper don't know what's going on because she can't see. Piper can only see like bright lights and like weird shapes and stuff. She can't see. So she has no clue what's going on. So the whole time she's like yelling, and Andy's just kind of sitting there, kids 17. Andy's 17. I don't remember how old Piper is, 13, maybe 14. But Andy's trying to, he's sitting there and he's like, don't know what the fuck to do, which has got to be a crazy part for like, a couple kids at the house. And you walk in there and, Pops is all strawed out, just, casual cocking it on the floor, dead as hell. And then the next thing you know, you see them there in the kitchen or whatever. And then they see the little gurney rolling out like, okay, the dad died. Well, then, of course, only parent in the house. Then you got, child services has stepped into this thing. And then we got a couple, like the lady is sitting there. The lady at the social service, whatever the fuck they're called. I think her name was Wendy. And she's basically explaining to them that, hey, Piper, we got this lady named Laura. She's going to take you. And then we're going to take you, Andy, and move you over here. But then that's kind of fucked up because I'm like, now you're going to separate them. And that's one of the things I don't like that. It just, I don't understand how social services and foster and I don't understand how all that works. I just think it's fucked up. Like, you're going to take this, like, even though they're stepbrother and sister, they've been together for a while. You're going to try to separate them. But then, Andy's upset. Piper's upset because Andy's almost 18. And basically, Andy can't do shit until he's 18. Once he's 18, he can try to get, like, legal guardianship of her. But they both were, like, real hard set on, like, hey, we don't want to be separated. We got it. This Laura lady wants to take in Piper. But, hey, and Andy was only like 3 or 4 months away from becoming a legal age. So they were like, hey, let her know that, hey, we want to stay together. So this Laura lady is going to let them both, bring them both in. Kudos, Laura. You bring in the 17-year-old and just like teenager, 13, 14, however old Piper was. And they're going to live with her. And now listen, this is one of the things that kind of, sometimes when I watch movies, I'll have questions that kind of pop in my head as I'm watching it. And I kind of write it down in a note. I always have my little voice note thing going on my phone. And if something pops up, I'll just kind of say it into the phone. That way I remember it when I'm here doing this shit. And so hold on, everybody, grab your drinks, grab your smoke, whatever you need to do. Gentleman Jack break. Thank you. Now, like I said, I don't understand social services, adoptions, fostering. I don't understand. It was just weird to me because next time we get these two, they're driving up the road. Andy and Piper driving up the road. And I'm like, okay, I'm assuming they're going to this Laura's house. That's where they're going. But the thing that was odd to me is when they get to Laura's house and they meet her, it was like they were meeting her for the very first time. And that was weird to me because I'm thinking, okay, if you got this foster parent or whatever that you're going to hand these kids over, you would think, I think, that maybe they all huddle up at the little fostering agency place and they all sit around and they kind of, introduce a little bit, be like, hey, Piper, this is Laura. Laura, you're going to be staying with her. Laura, this is Andy. Y'all get a little face to face, have y'all a little chit chat before we just hand you over to this person. And that's just what it seemed like because when they got there, they were all kind of up in there. And when they first get in there, like when they get to the house, Laura's got some music playing, real loud, and she's yelling for them to come in. The door's open. They come in there, and she's just so super excited to see them. Like, and I'm just like, holy shit, is this the first time this lady's meeting these kids? And it seemed like it was. I don't know. But right out of the gate, Laura comes across as high strung. Like she got a lot of energy, you know. Laura, who I said a minute ago, was played by, let me scroll down to the cast here because I'm bad with names, people. Y'all know this. Sally Hawkins plays Laura. Sally Hawkins. And I'll go and say this right now. Sally Hawkins, who plays Laura, makes this movie worth the price of admission just alone. She was so fucking good. So Sally Hawkins, if you were to somehow stumble across this shit show, just know you fucking killed it in this movie. Worth the price of admission. She was so fucking good. Crazy as shit in this movie. But hey, we'll get to that. Now we got this Laura here has brought these two in. And you can kind of pick up on the fact that Laura was not fond of Andy being there. She had her and I would understand that, much easier to maybe take in a younger kid, a lady living by herself, bring in a little girl and help her. I can understand that. Now she's having to also bring in the stepbrother who's 17, so I could see maybe she wasn't a fan of that. And you can kind of pick up on it. You can kind of pick up on the fact that Laura is just not really a fan of Andy. And so I'm not going to spoil that part. As it kind of goes on, you kind of pick up on it and you kind of see that Laura is just, Andy's kind of in the way. You also find out that there is another person there in the house. Laura is not by herself. She has a little boy there named Oliver, who she calls Ollie. As soon as I seen this little boy, Ollie, that little fucker was creepy as hell looking. I think the first time you see him, he's standing in an empty swimming pool. She had an empty swimming pool in the back. He's kind of standing there in the pool with a cat that she had. And he's wrestling with this cat. He's got on these little red shorts and this little white wife beater on. And Oliver looked like he's even younger, maybe 10, 11, maybe. And so he's sitting there, his head shaved, and he just looks creepy. There's something about him. As soon as I seen him, I'm like, that little fucker's going to be a problem. Got it. He's going to be a problem. And another part in the beginning where Laura really seemed super fucking creepy was when it was time there's a part where they go back to the funeral where they're doing the funeral service. And Piper and Andy are there at the casket doing that last viewing where they're looking at the body laying there. For some reason, that makes me feel creepy when I see that. I do not like that at all. I'm not a funeral going type person. I'm especially not one of those that walk by a casket to look at somebody. I just will not do that. Don't do it. It will not be done to me. My wife knows, hey, when my time comes, you light a fucking match. You get me nice and toasty, and then you throw me a little Ziploc bag. And if you're watching this on YouTube, right behind me over my right shoulder, there's a can sitting there that says Jay's. That's an old Jay's potato chip can. And my wife knows that when this guy goes, that's where my ashes are going, right there in that Jay's potato chip can, right over my right shoulder. Already got the can. She knows. Light it up, get my little baggie, throw it in the Jay's potato chip can, and just let me chill. There's even a bottle of Jack Daniel's Frank Sinatra sitting on top of it. She knows that's the way it's going to be. There's my can. There's my Jack Daniel's. And so, yeah, I don't like the funeral thing. For some reason, I can watch shit. There's certain things I can watch in movies. It could be the nasty, goriest shit in the world, but there's normal type stuff sometimes that just kind of really make me feel uncomfortable. And when they're at the funeral and they're sitting there and they're looking down and Piper's asking him, how does he look? Because you can't see. And he's not even looking at him. He doesn't want to look at him. He just kind of eyes are forward. He's just like, oh, he looks good. He's this and this, and Piper's thinking, everything's good. But then they go to leave the funeral. They're outside and Laura basically tells Andy, like, you need to say goodbye to your father. And she's like, you wouldn't even look at him. But then that kind of upset Piper because him and Piper have this thing. They don't lie. They ain't gonna lie to each other. Got to tell the truth. And they say this phrase like grapefruit. And it's like their way of saying, like, I'm telling you the truth or something like that. So Piper's kind of upset because she was like, you told me this, and he didn't even look at him. And Laura's like, you need to, because even after months after death, the spirit can sometimes stay in the body. And so you need to say goodbye. So they go back into the funeral home. Now they're standing there, just him, Andy, and Laura. And I'm just sitting there like, oh, and I don't know why. God, that gets under my skin. It just, ugh. And she's telling him, he's trying to say goodbye. And he says something. I can't remember exactly how he said it. He's basically saying bye. Well, then he thinks that's enough. And then Laura goes, you should kiss him. You should kiss him. And right then I'm sitting there going, what the fuck? And you can tell Andy's kind of like, no. But then Laura keeps on selling it. She's like, it's, you really need to do this. It's like this. I forget how she worded it, but basically like, it's the way it's supposed to be. You need to kiss him. And I'm sitting there going like, oh, hell no. I'm watching this thinking to myself, I would rather watch somebody saw somebody's head off than to sit here and watch this dude lean over and kiss this dead body. And that's what he does. Andy leans over, kisses dead daddy on the forehead. And I'm sitting there going like, oh, fuck, Andy, what are you doing? But then when he does that, she's like, kiss him on the lips. I'm like, what the, Laura, bitch, you're crazy. She's like, you need to kiss him on the lips. That's where it's supposed to be. And while he's kind of down there, and she's like, and at some point I thought she was going to like try to grab him by the head and be like, you better fucking kiss them lips, boy. But she doesn't. He's just kind of like, no, no, we're not doing that. Well, then he just kind of walks off. Well, then she leans over. She kisses the dead daddy on the lips. Yeah. This is her first time meeting dead daddy. She just basically took the kids over there because they're staying with her, took them to the funeral. Now she's up there in front. Now the place is empty, but now she's up front, leaning over, kissing the lips of dead daddy. And then she does something weird. She takes some scissors and she cuts off some of his hair, like grabs some front of his hair and cuts his hair off, kind of puts it in her pocket. I'm like, what the fuck are you up to, Laura? And right then I knew like, okay, Laura's going to be, there's something, we're going to have a problem with Laura, and we're going to have a little problem with her boy, Ollie, our little crazy looking skint head boy, Ollie. We're going to have some problems with these two. So driving back home, Laura's trying to like, talk to him, trying to be, the good foster lady. And she's like asking them like what they like to do to have fun, and Piper's making jokes. She makes a comment like, I want to kick Andy in the balls. And then she asks Andy, and Andy's like, I like to get hammered. And then she's just like, oh, you like to get hammered? Well, let's get hammered. And Laura's like, okay, we're going to go back to the house. And they just start fucking drinking games going on with Laura and Andy. Well, then they bring fucking Piper into this. Laura's playing that cool little, foster lady. We're hanging out, having a good time. They're playing drinking games, taking shots. They all get fucking really, really tipsy. Next thing you know, they're dancing around in the living room, having a good time. And that was a fun part of the movie. I enjoyed it. That was fun watching the how we've all been there. People get a little tipsy on and everybody wants to sit around and you scrolling through your phone, looking for that one song everybody can just get down to, sing along, have a good time. And they're having a good time. Was it wrong that you were letting the fucking little 13 or 14-year-old get drunk? Nah, that was wrong. But hey, they were there. Daddy just died. So they're all having a good time, and at some point, our girl Piper's had enough. She's just kind of out on the couch to sleep. But then we get the Laura and Andy having a little conversation together at the kitchen table. And then Laura starts kind of asking him trying to get, about his dad and stuff like that, and then they both are talking back and forth. We come to find out that Andy's dad was abusive. Come to find out that Andy's dad, Andy thought Piper was the favorite. And so Dad never did anything to Piper. He just beat the shit out of Andy. So, and then you had found out that there was a point where early, when like Andy was like 8 or 9, he actually hit Piper when Piper was younger, even younger. And so that was, he basically said because he thought she was the favorite and, he was already getting his ass beat by his fucking dad. Well, then Laura he started asking Laura some questions. Laura, you come to find out, had a daughter also. Kathy or Katie. I can't remember exactly. Kathy. She had a daughter named Kathy. Her daughter was also blind. Kathy was blind. Kathy died. They found out Kathy died by drowning. And you come to find out it was there's a pool in the backyard. Her daughter drowned in that pool. So then it just seemed even more kind of awkward. So here we go. Now we got Laura, who had her blind daughter who died. Now she has adopted and not adopted, but fostering this Piper who is also blind, about the same age. She's already came across kind of fucking cuckoo at the funeral. She's got little crazy Ollie boy wandering around the fucking house who she keeps locked up in a room, like locked. Like she locks the door from the outside. He's locked in a room. And so then you start kind of finding that stuff out, and then there's a part when this whole thing's going down. I thought at some point, because my mind's kind of fucked up, I thought at some point Laura was going to try to fuck Andy. That's just where I went with it. Especially that night they were drinking. I'm like, is she going to try to do something with this kid? Because I didn't know what her plan was. But there was one part of it after they were all done drinking. There's a part earlier where Andy wakes up one morning and he has pissed his pants. 17 years old. And he wakes up that morning and he's pissed his pants. And he went in the washroom, washed his stuff. Nobody really didn't think nothing of it. I don't know. It was his first night. I think maybe it was like his first night there or something like that. And he pissed his pants. And so, but then after that night of drinking, they were all drinking. Like I said, the girl had passed out. Piper had, them two had been up talking. Next thing you know, Andy is passed out. Or I'm assuming he went to sleep. But then we get Laura. Laura goes into her room. And Laura does that move where, guys, we know the move sometimes. Ladies, some of you know the move. Where the lady takes her hair. She takes that little ponytail band. She grabs that hair, wraps it up real good, slaps that ponytail on it. Well, you about to get your dick sucked. That kind of move. When you're trying to get that hair out of the way. We just see Laura. I see Laura in there wrapping that hair up real quick with a little bun. I'm like, oh shit. They really are about to fucking get it on. She about to go in there and fuck down her boy Andy. That's how I think sometimes when I watch movies. But she does the move. Hair goes up, quick little band on it. I'm like, oh shit, here we go. But then she grabs a little, a little measuring cup, a good size one, whatever, goes into the bathroom, and then she sets it on the floor, puts the towel down, sets the cup on the floor, and then she squats and pisses in this cup. And I was like, oh, right then, I was like, oh shit, Andy did not piss his bed. This fucking crazy lady Laura here is up to something. Because she takes that piss, nice, warm, fresh piss, into Andy's room, and you see her just pour it right in his crotch area. He didn't wake up because he'd been drinking. Andy's out, And then, of course, Andy going to wake up the next morning, fuck, I did this again, Hey, we've all been fucking, that one, I wouldn't even been mad at him about. Because, we've all done some shit while we were drunk, Yours truly here has never pissed his pants from drinking. Never. But yours truly has stepped out of bed before and, thought the little nightstand table next to the bed was the toilet. You know, I've done that, you know. Yeah, that's the one time that I know from my life that I was really woke up middle of the night from drinking, rolled out of bed, did not piss my pants. That's the main thing here, people. Didn't piss the pants, just rolled right out of bed casually, looked over and thought the old nightstand table there was my toilet. And I handled my business and then went back to bed. Hey, no shame here, people. We all do crazy shit. But so now we know now Laura's up to some shit. Because at some point Laura starts trying to spin it to Piper. She's making comments to Piper like I'm worried about him. Something's wrong with him. And then she tells Piper, you know, there's one point they're going shopping or something, just Laura and Piper, and she tells her, she's like, you know, I'll tell you about it on the way. You know, she is start trying to work that little divide in between Piper and Andy. And then they start peeling the layer back a little bit on this little fucking Oliver that's running around the fucking house. When it really cranks, there's a part where it really cranks up. Laura is gone with Piper. And she basically tells Andy, you know, hey, Oliver's in his room. Just leave him in his room. Andy don't really think nothing of it until later. He's walking around. He goes to the door and the door is locked. And Andy's kind of asking like this, are you locked in there? You know, and Oliver's he don't say shit. Oliver's a mute. He don't say nothing. And so Andy goes and gets a knife, goes in there, pries into the door, pops the door open, lets Oliver come out. He's just trying to hang out with him. Takes him to the kitchen. Like, hey, man, you hungry? You know, Oliver's sitting there on a little bar stool at the kitchen table. Andy pulled out like it was like a cantaloupe, you know, cut up a cantaloupe like in half, and he was cutting it up in pieces. And he was trying to talk to Oliver. Oliver couldn't say shit. So he basically gets like a piece of paper and a pencil. He's like, hey, you can write, and then we'll be able to kind of communicate. And while he's getting the little cantaloupe cut, you see Oliver pick up the pencil. I'm like, okay, he's going to fucking finally write something. We're going to figure out what the hell's going on. And so then it was a stupid move on Adam's part. When I seen this part, it was, you know, stupid. But he basically takes the knife, pokes it into the cantaloupe, and kind of sticks it in front of Oliver's face. He's like, here you go, trying to give him a piece of the cantaloupe. You know, most of us normal folk, would have grabbed a little cantaloupe, pulled it off the knife, and enjoyed our cantaloupe. Not our little psycho boy Oliver here. He just kind of goes, while he's holding the knife, he kind of goes and tries to grab the knife. And Andy's kind of like, whoa, no, don't grab it. And then you could tell Oliver's trying to bite the cantaloupe. Well, then Andy turns around to get a plate. He's like, let me get you a plate. And Andy's looking in the cabinets because he don't know where shit is because he just fucking got there. And while he's looking for the plates, I was like, oh God, you're going to turn around, buddy. And this little fucking psycho boy is going to be standing over you with that knife. He's going to fuck your world up. You know, I was expecting him because the way they kind of put the shot, you were just expecting him to turn around and that little boy being there standing over him with that fucking knife are going to do something crazy with it. So I was waiting for it. I'm like, yep, he's going to turn around and that little boy's going to be standing there on top of the counter or something doing some fucking crazy shit. But then as we see, and this part here was fucking just, it made you hurt. Once I knew what it was, just the sound of it was just cringy. You hear in the background, like if you were to bite down on metal, that clinking type sound that it fucking makes. And when Andy stands up and it shows us, we got fucking Oliver is literally eating the knife blade, trying to chew it. And this thing is in there. Like it is, you can see it is cut up into his gum, like cut a tooth out. Like he's literally biting this fucking knife. And the sound it's making is just, it makes your fucking teeth hurt just listening to it. And it was a nice close-up shot. Kudos to when we get to see it and it's all going down. And Andy's fucking panicking, of course. He's just like, he's got to get him some help. He grabs him up, heading out the front door. and gets out the front door, and he starts running like to his car with him to get him to the hospital. Well, when he's running out the door, fucking Oliver's like dragging his feet, like he does not want to go. Like he is screaming. But then when I realized there was a white line on the ground. And then I'm like, you know, I've seen movies like the ritual type, possession type movies where they got like that little white line of whatever it is, salt, powder, whatever the fuck it is. But she's got a white line right there. And when he drags him across that line, this little dude hits the floor screaming like just the scream of death. And he's screaming and moving around, and Andy don't know what the hell's going on. You know, he's laying there. Andy don't know that getting back over that line. He doesn't know. He's just sitting there trying to figure out, like, hey, you know, what do I do? Calm down. And this little boy's fucking losing it. And I was like, and as I'm watching, I'm like, dude, what is up with this little fucking? And I'm assuming he's got to be some type of possession because they always have that circle, and sometimes that circle keeps you safe on the inside. You know, don't go outside that circle to fuck you up. You know, but for this one, it was like, you know, to keep it alive, I had to stay inside this circle. Whatever it was, that was this little thing, Ollie. And well, then Laura pulls up with Piper. Piper, once again, hears all the screaming, has no clue what's going on. And Laura runs up like, why is he outside? Why did you let him out? Why is he outside? And she's getting him back into the house. Well, then Andy grabs Piper and brings Piper back into the house. You know, Piper's just losing it, man, because she doesn't know. She just hears crazy ass screaming. And her little dude, Oliver, he was screaming like I said, screaming death. Little dude was in pain. And so Piper's freaking out. Andy's trying to calm her down. He gets her into the kitchen. But then when he gets her into the kitchen, he sees on the little notepad one word, bird, B-I-R-D. That was on the notepad. He kind of just grabs that. And then you start figuring out, because there's a part where Laura takes the little fucking crazy Ollie up and back into his room. And she's got these VHS tapes. And there's a couple times she has turned them on, or one at a time she had turned them on. And she goes in there and she pops that tape in real quick and she's watching it. And it's like she's fast forwarding it. And then I'm like, it's like she's trying to figure out what to do. It's like, is this videos like instruction videos? Like, what is going on? And then I get my question answered, maybe from the beginning when I was seeing that Russian language and I couldn't figure out what they were saying, because this is around the time she's watching this video, and on the video, you're seeing the words on the video and it's showing it to you, like what's going on, what they're saying. And then I come to find out, hold on, itching my throat. Everybody take a break, grab your favorite beverage. It's good stuff. And what's going on in these videos is basically, here's the big gist of this thing. Like I said, I was going to spoil the shit out of it, people. So, hey, but in this video, it looks like, you come to find out, basically, let's just say you got a dead person. Okay. Got a dead body, got a dead person. Boom. We got Kathy, the daughter, dead person. And even in that video, what they're trying to do in that video is bring somebody back to life. Thus the title, Bring Her Back. So in the video, they got this body on the floor, dead. They got this possessed looking person, like inside the circle type shit. And then there's this other person. And when they string that person up. So basically the thing is to bring the person back to life. The possessed thing in that video, the possessed one, basically has to start eating or sucking the soul out of the dead body, the body that's dead, the person that's gone. Possessed thing goes over there in the video and like starts biting on it, like it's like supposedly sucking the soul out of that person. Now, they want to bring the person back. So what they do is they got to have a person there to die the exact same way that their loved one did. So if their loved one died from hanging, which you see in the video, apparently died from hanging. So they end up taking this person that was there, wrapping a rope around her neck, stringing her up, kills her. That person's now dead. The possessed person goes over to the person you just killed, the one you just killed. And it basically, it looks like it pukes and spits all over this recently now dead body. And it's basically putting the soul of that dead person into this person now that just died. So now this person is their loved one now in this new person's body. The soul is now in that body. That's what you see in the ritual. And so then I start going, okay, now we're figuring out what Laura's plan is. Laura has Piper there. Piper, blind, same age as her daughter. Throughout this movie, you see Laura trying to just fucking basically make her daughter. She's giving her, like, she's staying in her dead daughter's room. Like, everything's still the same. You know, got her staying in the room. Nothing. Everything's still exact same. There's times where she basically gives her a favorite sweater. There's a part where she's putting Piper's hair back in a little ponytail, the way her daughter Kathy did it, you know, and you could just tell, like, okay, this is Laura's plan. Laura is going to have this little fucking possessed Ollie boy, you know, somehow do his thing. And as it goes on, Laura has basically got it to the point where she's trying to get rid of Adam. You know, she's trying to make it where, like, Adam's crazy, Adam's trouble, Adam's this, because there's a point to where she's trying to turn Piper against Adam to where she basically, Laura takes Andy takes his body spray, sprays it all over herself, and goes into Piper's room at night. Piper's sound asleep. Andy's asleep. Laura goes in there with the smell of Andy, because our girl Piper's blind. Her senses are heightened. She recognizes, like, her brother's body spray smell, you know. And one of the parts I was just like, what is she doing? Like, she's going in his room, she sprays this spray on him, and she goes into her room and she's just kind of standing there. And I'm like, I don't know what her plan is. Well, the next thing you know, she hauls off and punches her, like, square in the face. Like, Piper's out cold, just sleeping. And she comes down on her with, like, the hammer fist, just bam, right on her face. And then she runs out of the room. Well, then Piper, of course, wakes up crying, upset, you know, and then the whole thing gets confronted that right there where Laura's there. Andy comes walking in and Laura's like, show him. And when Piper turns around, she's got this massive black eye. And Andy's like, who did that to you? And basically Laura basically is saying, you did this. You came into her room last night and you did this. And Andy's trying to talk to Piper. And Piper was like, I smelled you. It was you. I smelled you. So now Laura's got her girl thinking that Andy is doing this. And then another part that was odd to me right here is, it's like the next day she's going to take Piper to school. And there's a part Piper's been at school all day. And there's a part where she comes to pick Piper up, Laura does. And this lady's there and she's just like, hey, we need to talk to you about this black eye. And Laura was like, you can tell in this moment, Laura is fucking losing it because everything's popping off right now. Everything's bubbling to the top. Everything is getting serious. You know, and she's like, we need to talk to you about this black eye. And I'm like, seriously? School people, you let her be in school all day long, been there, and ain't done shit or said shit about this black eye. Like, as soon as she got there that day, y'all didn't think to escort her ass to the fucking office and be like, hey, what's up with this black eye here? Maybe we need to call the child people in here. We need to figure this out. And even then when she showed up to pick her up, and the lady tried to question on it, she was just like, yeah, I can't do this right now. I gotta leave. And I'm like, okay, so y'all just gonna let the little girl who just showed up at school, got this black fucking eye, you're just gonna let her leave? I'm like, I would think somebody should have stepped up, but hold up, mom, hold up, lady, you're not walking out of here with her until we get some answers. But hey, it is what it is. It was still, we're riding right now. Everything starts coming to a head. You start seeing Andy realize that some shit ain't right. When the whole thing goes down with Andy and Laura, Andy leaves. I'm just thinking like maybe it was like Andy was like, fuck this ain't worth it. It's just a stepsister. I'm out. And he leaves. And so now it's just Laura and Piper there. And you come to find out there's a part where Laura takes Piper into like this greenhouse she has. And I'm like, she's got her in the sweater. She's talking to her. She's like, there's something I want to show you. And she goes over there and there's like this ice chest. And she opens it and Piper's kind of touching it and she can feel something. And she's like, what is that? And she was like, oh, it's just meat. But then you see a flash of our little creepy ass Ollie, like over the body. And it's a body. The camera backs up and it is fucking Kathy on ice. Kathy's on ice. Kathy's on ice because this is now the whole ritual thing makes sense now because she has Kathy there. She's got Kathy. She has Piper there. And she's got the little crazy Ollie, and now everything's there now for her to do this ritual. So I'm like, holy shit. She basically wants to use Piper to basically her body to bring Kathy's soul into her body, basically. And when it really got good right here. It started really getting good because Ollie is getting impatient. Ollie, the little possessed, whatever it is, and another spoiler, you never find out what it is that's got Ollie. You never figure out kind of like where it came from, no background on whatever this thing is inside of Ollie. But it's got him fucked up. And there's a part where Ollie's getting impatient. Ollie like stays hungry. And Ollie's wanting something to fucking eat. There's a part where she comes in the kitchen and Ollie is in there like tearing the house apart because Piper's at school right now. Andy has took off. When the shit popped off, he jumped in his car and left. I'm like, okay, Andy threw the deuces. He's out. So she's just there with Ollie. Ollie's tearing the fucking house apart, looking for something to fucking eat. And I remember there's a couple times she makes a comment like, it's not time yet. It's not time. Well, then Ollie kind of turns on her. Ollie takes takes a bite out of fucking Laura. And then this is where it gets, I would say, the kind of just, it does have some good kind of, not gore. Everything was done right. One thing I will say about this when it comes to the bloody, type, this was done so fucking good. And when it gets to this part here to where Ollie takes a bite out of her and she kind of goes to the room and she kind of passes out. Well, Ollie just roaming around the fucking house and he is so fucking creepy looking. Like it ain't just nice little innocent looking little boy. Like he is creepy. These red eyes, he's fucking creepy looking. And when he goes there's a part where he goes into the kitchen and his mouth still fucked up when he tried to eat a fucking knife. And then he goes into the kitchen and there's a part where he tries to eat the countertop. You know how a counter's got a little edge that hangs over the side. He goes to bite down on it. And man, another part that just kind of makes you just kind of feel, it just feels weird when you did it because, I've played sports and stuff like got hit in the mouth and stuff like that or hit in the tooth. and I feel sure people had teeth knocked out or whatever. It ain't nice. It ain't fun. But when he goes and he bites down on this countertop, and he's not going to stop biting. He bites and bites until you start seeing his teeth pop out. And I'm just sitting there going, holy shit. And this thing it's giving us a good shot of it. I'm liking it because I like stuff like this. And he's biting on this countertop, and I'm like, holy shit, that's so fucking real and gross looking. And then he gets a bite out of it. And it's showing, the sound of like that chewing sound people have, where the people who chew too loud, that sound. And he's showing the close up of his mouth. He's got pieces of wood in his mouth. He's like literally chewing this wood. He goes back down, takes another bite of the table. And once again, wood in his mouth, you're hearing the chewing. Then he looks over at his arm. And the one thing that when he reaches over and he bites his own arm, we've seen that. I've seen the little gif or little picture of where it shows a person start peeling that skin, right there on the side of your fingernail, that little skin. And I've seen the picture where it looks like he started peeling it, and it goes like all the way up his finger, all the way up his arm, pulls it all the way. We're just like that one little piece of skin on his finger. But when he bites his arm and it peels up, like from the wrist up, you see him kind of pull a long stretch of skin off his arm. And that was so well done. Looks so good. And then he reaches down, takes a couple bites out of his hand. And I'm just sitting there like, holy shit. And this one little part where he's eating that fucking table or that countertop and chewing on his damn wrist and arm, I was like, man. And it was nice and close, man. It wasn't like, oh, so well done. Really liked it. And at this point in the movie, man, it's up, it's amped up. Everything's going on. We got our boy Andy. Andy's not running. Andy's going back to the child services place to get Wendy, to explain to Wendy that something's going on. Something's up with Laura. He basically talks to Wendy, hey, you need to come with me. They're going to go back there. And when Andy gets back there with Wendy, Laura found out they were coming. She had Piper's phone when Andy called her to say, hey, blah, blah, blah. And she realizes Laura now knows that they're on the way there and this Wendy's coming. So Laura gets the house ready. She gets cleaned up. Andy stays in the car. Wendy, the little child service lady, goes up there, talk. They're good. They work together. Apparently, Laura worked there at the child service place for like 20 something years. She was a counselor. They knew each other. So like Laura's showing her around, Wendy's like, yeah, everything looks good. This and this and this. And Andy goes out investigating. Andy's looking for that little fucking Ollie kid. And he goes around back and you see like dead chickens on the ground. He goes and finds him in that greenhouse fucking munching on Kathy's head in the little freezer thing. Well, then back in the house, Wendy is talking to Laura and she's about to leave, thinking everything good. Well, then she realizes that Laura's bleeding. That bite on her arm where fucking little Ollie boy took a bite out of it. And she's got blood on her hand and Wendy's trying to talk to her. Well, then now Wendy's starting to pick up on like, hold on. Something ain't right here. Well, then she hears our boy Andy yelling. She hears something. Well, then Laura just starts kind of like losing it right here. We are off the rails right now because she starts talking like, I can bring her back, all this shit, trying to like, she's grabbing on the Wendy. Wendy's trying to get away from her. And Wendy gets free. Wendy goes and meets up with Andy. Andy's like, you need to come outside and see this. Andy takes her out to the greenhouse. Wendy walks in, the look of shock because our boy, little Ollie's still over there gnawing on fucking Kathy's head. And so her and Andy, I don't know why I keep saying Adam, Andy, decide we need to get the fuck out of here. They heading back to the car. And I'm like, okay, they're going to go to, I don't know what the plan is when we get to the car, but they're going back to the car. They're going to get out of there, like, fuck this bitch, we out. And so here they go, making it back to the car. Well, then out of nowhere, the fucking Laura comes flying in there with the fucking car. And I'm talking like hits them both. And it was so quick and so like, holy shit, like what the fuck? And bam, that was a good hit. Didn't see that one coming. I was not expecting it. It was just a nice surprise when she come flying in there, fucking pancake damn Wendy and fucking Andy. And spoiler alert, killed them both, you know. But, and then that's when she went to the school. After all that, you know, went to the school to pick Piper up because now she knows she's got to kick this thing off. She's got to kick it off. So it's all going to come down. Our girl, Piper, got some fight in her. Piper got some fight. Because Piper starts realizing some shit ain't making sense. She gets back there and she's listening to Laura and she's trying to start, you know, her senses are heightened. She's hands on a few things. She comes across the dead body of her own fucking brother, you know, and then she basically getting into it with Laura. Unfortunately for a girl, Piper, you know, you just can't take off running bat out of hell speed through a house you're not 100% familiar with, because when she finally decides she's going to book it and haul ass, like she hit the overdrive gear, took off running. But then there was this old girl, our girl Laura had this metal pole right outside that door. Basically, when she came running out that door, she faced first into that door. Ding dong, like out for the count. Down goes Piper. And now we got Laura dragging her out there to the pool. She's got the same thing. Like I said, we learned earlier that the person has to die the same way. So she's got Laura dragging her out there to the damn, to the pool. Got to drown her. And it took me a while after I watched it, a few minutes after I watched it, because I didn't understand. There's a part where she's trying to drown her, and you think she's got her, like you think she's dead. So we got Laura in the pool drowning Piper. Our little fucking psycho demon Ollie boy is now in the pool. Ollie boy is finished sucking the soul out of dead body Kathy in the freezer. He comes out there with just his little red shorts on, with this big ass fucking belly, like it's just full of soul, you know. And you can tell, like, okay, the plan is she's going to drown Piper, and then little fucking psycho crazy demon Ollie boy is going to come over there and like spit and puke the soul into her. And you can tell, like, our boy Ollie is in the pool getting kind of like, you can have that little dry heaving feeling when people throw up. Like he knows he's about there. He's in sucked all the soul he can suck. Now he's got to get it out of him. So he's out there like, huh, huh. And so she's fighting her and fighting her. And then there's a part where she thinks she's dead, but then she comes up out of the water and she calls her mom, or mum over there, how they say it. And that kind of like triggered her to like not kill her. And I got thinking, I'm like, why the hell? But then I remember there's a part earlier in the movie where Laura's talking to Andy when he's asking her, when they're drunk, and he's asking her about her daughter. And there's a part where Laura says, I wish I could just hear her call me mom one more time. And so there's a part at the end where Piper's fighting for her fucking life, and she basically gets her head out of water just long enough to yell mom. And it was like it snapped Laura out of it, and she kind of lets her go. And she's kind of like, you know, oh, I'm sorry. And, you know, Piper's getting her fucking ass out of town, you know. But the little crazy Ollie, you know, he tried to go after her, you know, tried to go after Piper. But then Piper kind of gets away. Well, then when you see a part where after Piper makes it out, she gets to the road, car comes by, she's out of Dodge. Well, then we get a shot of our boy Ollie, and he's kind of like puking all this shit on the floor, like he was like that soul shit, you know. And he ends up going outside because there's that white line around the whole fucking property, basically. And it was almost like he'd had enough. Like he didn't get to do his mission. So his mission failed. So he's got to get out of the body, you know. And so he goes out there past the line, and you see a shot of him screaming like crazy, the death scream again, you know. And I'm assuming that was like the little, maybe the demon, wherever the fuck it was, you know, like, well, this mission failed. Fuck, I got to go find something else to do. And so he like walks himself over that white line just so he can get out of the boy's body, you know. Little FYI, little boy does survive, just so you know. But yeah, I was like, so, but I never really, I wish I would have kind of, it was kind of cool not knowing where the little demon that was possessing Ollie came from, because I never really got that part. Like, how did he come about? Like, what made this little dude, you know? Never really got that. But I did think it was for me, because I think sometimes shit's funny. I was like, it's funny when I seen him, like when he puked it all up on the floor, he's got to be thinking to himself, like, fuck, like, what a waste. I went all this fucking time, all this trouble, and here I am, just got to puke this shit on the floor now. And now he knows the gig's up. Like, he knows, like, okay, well, there's no work here now. I ain't waiting around for another little blind girl to come walking back through that fucking door. So he's like, I'm just gonna walk my ass out past that white line, and I will exit this little body and go on to the next person that, you know, summons me up or whatever, you know. But I like the ending of it, man. I liked how it went down. And that was a good time. That was a good movie. Good run. I enjoyed it. I did like it. Really, really, really enjoyed the kind of the gross shit. The little part where old boy bit that knife, just the sound it was making, and the part where he bit down on that damn countertop. Well done. Well done. That was a good fun ride. I did not get bored in it. That's one of the things I say when I watch horror movies like that. I just don't want to get bored. You know, I don't want to sit around just like if I'm watching a movie and I start scrolling through my phone while I watch it, then I'm, you know, it's kind of lost me. But this one did not do that. I was along for the ride. Like I said, you know, the same guys who did Talk to Me, I enjoyed Talk to Me. I like that movie a lot. And they did it again with this one. To me, this was a fucking banger. I had a good time with this one. Everybody in this movie was good, acting wise. Everybody. Piper, I read a thing where, you know, I get it off the internet. I don't know how true everything is. You know, we know how the internet is, but I read a thing where it was like her first time. And I think she like auditioned over like a Facebook audition online, something like that. First thing she's like acting in type thing. She did very well. Played the part really good. Everybody was good in this thing. But like I said earlier, what was her name? I just went blank. Sally Hawkins played Laura, just worth the price of admission. She played fucking sweet, nice, crazy, so well. There's a part of the movie where you're watching it and you fucking think you're like, oh, you fucking bitch, I fucking hate you. But then there's times where she's like so nice to him, like when after the funeral, when she's like, hey, you know, she knows they're grieving, she knows they're having a hard time. Dude says, I want to get hammered. She goes back, you know, has a good time with them, you know, and she's super nice, you know, but she was fucking crazy. And she played every part so fucking good. She was so good. But yeah, it was a fun ride. Kudos to the Danny and Michael Philippou, however you say it. But kudos. Awesome fucking job. I had a blast watching this one. And now I got to rate it like we always do. And for me, for this one, it's a very good, very, very, very good fuck. It is that really good Friends with Benefits. You know, it's almost that friend with benefits. You'd almost put a ring on it, almost. But it's just I can't marry it because I feel like, and I'm definitely going to watch it again. I'll definitely watch it again, but I can't marry it. You know, there's certain movies that you watch it, and no matter, you can know every little step, every little word, every little thing's going on, but you can't get enough of it. This is not that one. Watching it the second time, knowing everything that's coming, but watching it again just for once again how good fucking Sally Hawkins was. Just seeing how good the creepiness of that little fucking Ollie boy. The scenes where it's just like makes you kind of draw up with the biting on the fucking knife blade and eating the countertop. That shit it'll definitely bring you back. So it's a really good fuck. Really good fuck. Almost put a ring on it. Almost. But we just gonna keep fucking it. But had a blast with it. Had a good time with it. Yeah, go check it out. We tell people every time on this show, no matter what I say about it, or no matter what, I will never get on this show and tell you don't watch a movie. If it's horror, go watch it, no matter what it is. I like them all. I enjoy watching them. I ain't gonna say there's some I fucking hate, but I watched them, and I'll tell people to go watch them. But it's horror, and just we're lucky enough to get to fucking watch horror, and just so much out there to watch. And like I said, I'm not going to turn my head to nothing. I'll give anything a chance. I'll watch a movie. I'm a sucker for, the cheapest B movie, just cheesiest. I'm a sucker for them. But like I said, every now and then, I enjoy watching these newer releases, the ones where, you got a fucking $15 million budget type movies, But yeah, this one was very well done. I'm not an expert on how films, when it comes to people saying it was shot a certain way or looked a certain way. To me, it looked good. It all looked good to me. I have no complaints with it. I really don't. It was good from beginning to end. Yeah, you got to go check it out. I watched it on HBO Max. I feel sure maybe there's Amazon Prime, maybe to rent or something like that, but I watched it on HBO Max, and I had a fucking blast watching it. Had a good time. Yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for Bring Her Back, people. We fucking it. We fucking it good. We're fucking it. Looking over there, seeing that ring in the box, but yeah, I just can't put the ring on it. But we still fucking it. I don't know what the next episode is going to be. I had somebody sent me a movie through Instagram. I'm not mistaken. I don't have my phone in front of me. I think it's called The Cellar. It's a new movie. I may watch it, talk about it. I'm not sure yet. There's a couple more. Me and John have been talking about a couple movies that we want to do together. So I'm not sure what's coming next. But yeah, just be on the lookout. Go check us out on some social medias. Follow along with us. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. I spend most time on Instagram. There is a TikTok out there. But stop by. Let us know what you think of the movie. Stop by. Rate the show. Go. We're on Spotify, Apple, all them normal ones. Go drop us a review. Leave us some comments. Let us know what you think about the movie. Let us know what you think about our little shit show here. We got thick skin here, people. You're not hurting my fucking feelings. But hey, I appreciate everybody from the fucked up family that hangs out with us every week and listens to this shit show. Hey, we appreciate it. Go check us out. We're also on YouTube. Go like, subscribe, follow along. We're still trying to get to that 500 subscribers on YouTube, so we can do our big live show. Me and John getting tipsy toasty on a live show on YouTube. We get to 500. So go like, subscribe, follow along with us. Like I said, drop us comments. If there's a movie you want us to talk about, drop me a line. Let us know. Swing by through Instagram. We got an email, frightflickfmk@gmail. Swing by the email. If you got a movie you want to recommend or whatever, questions. We are open books here, people. But yeah. Also be on the lookout for the Etsy store if you want to rock you a nice Fright Flick FMK hoodie. There'll be some long sleeve t-shirt type shit. Support the fucked up family if you want to. But That's going to wrap it up for this episode, family. Everybody reach over and grab your drinks one last time. Everybody take a little sip together. Gentleman Jack. So good. All right, family. This is that time of the episode. You all know what to do. Need y'all to reach over there, gather up all y'all shit. Go over there and put your chairs away, grab y'all's drinks, and y'all get the fuck out of here.
What's your favorite scary movie?
We have such sights to show you.
Monsters!
All you have left is my desire.
My name is Frankenstein!
That man's gone mad.
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
See this? This is my boomstick!
I ate his liver with some fava beans. Nice community. This mess.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
It's alive! It's alive!
Here's Johnny. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains. There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror.
Welcome to the debauchery.